Hi and welcome again here to the show. We're gonna continue scrubbing our gobos here. So let them go, come here. We made about 4 yesterday, so let's continue. I remember when I was younger. Where the hell is my glasses? There they are. Of course, as most of you guys played this Warhammer Fantasy. I think it was the 4th edition. And when the 5th came with Bretonians, I was kind of a bit older. More to role-playing, vampires and stuff. Anyway, so my opponent had this Orc and Goblins army. And I had the undead with the necromancer that died all the time. So if you die, the whole the army just breaks away and dies. So that sucks. But he had this huge giant, you know, like it was tremendous. Of course, it was GV, Games Workshop Giant, and it was so much fun playing with him because he was like jumping and biting and I don't know, throwing and stuff and falling over. So you never knew what happened actually. And yes, he won all the time. So now I'm playing Ocean Goblins. Hopefully I will win. But I may be also looking towards, of course, as the rest of the world, Britannia. Those chaps are really hard to get over. Well, there are lots of like from the 5th edition, the knights and the archers. But men at arms, or the older versions, I think it is the other versions that had the metal, the men with the pole arms, the halberds. Well, the halberds were more like Empire. But anyway, well, we had a guy that played the Empire, and he with his damn steam tank. That was also a nice mechanic. Oh, it blew up. Sorry, there goes about 200 points, or whatever it costs. So yeah. Anyway, while I'm scrubbing here away these bases, and yeah, I think definitely this is glued. So I don't know if I had the time, the strength to carry on with this gobo thing, green tide of war. Maybe we'll try to do something else next time. Painting, maybe painting, but we can manage to glue something together. I don't know if I have any other miniatures. We will look into it tomorrow evening. Maybe we can stream a bit later. Oh. You see, I made a bit of a jack here. You see it? It's almost went through, but we were lucky. So of course in this unit I will have some fanatics. Yes, I made a list where I have 2 fanatics, not 3 but 2. I know that 3 is the best number maybe, but I have the points of 1000 is really enough. You can't have a huge lord, but it's also more realistic for us to like manage to have the time to paint all the miniatures, so that we could be looking at this from a nicer perspective, because I'm kind of tired of just playing with the greys and with the base coats. Terrain. When you see all those nice shows out there with the massive terrain, I like when you have the terrains and then you have all the other stuff like shrubberies and the pond and I don't know, like chair and stuff. And another thing that's very common when people take like a house and take some gravel and put it alongside, like when you play like in a desert, they have actual sand, sand, and like not in a like playing in a sandbox, but playing like they have a mountain or some statue, and then you have sand all around, and of course the table mat. It's so much fun to play. I remember when I played, we had like this green cloth table, green cloth on the table with I think it was like dark green with a little bit lighter flowers, like woven stuff. And then we have some brown painted cardboard boxes as houses, and it was very elementary. And of course, a huge army of skeletons. I have my skeletons somewhere, so I can try to manage to find them. And if we do, I can show you to them. I think most of them had broken arms and stuff, sadly. But we will try to manage. It's rather hard to get those skeletons nowadays, I think. Oh, this one was good. This one is almost good. We can try with this one. Maybe it's a bit better. Oh, yes. This is the way with this one. It's more stiff. Because the scalper has a tendency to like bend a bit. Wee. Much faster this way. You're just scrubbing away. And it's okay if I take over some of the paint away as well, but actually I'm still kind of fan of this typical goblin green bases that everybody had in the earlier. Now there's some people that are going wild with the bases, they have like a gobo in the middle, and then they have okay, this one is something wrong with it, so we take another one. They have this goblin standing in here, like for example, and then they have a stone, and they have a bark, and then they have a turf, and here between his legs, or between the staff and his legs, there's a mushroom growing, and here he has the small spider, and then they have something else, and all this is about on the bigger stone that takes this character, makes it twice the size. Yeah, you understand what I mean. Of course, nice basis is for the complete image of it, but we don't need to overdo with it. Oh no, I just threw him away. Let's see if he needs some brushing up on his. Yes, he has. He has a bit of grass stuck to him in his super glue pond he was standing in earlier in his life. We can trim these off. On here from the back. Yeah. Gobos. And this one with the bent. Oh, it's just, well, he had some turf here. Or static grass. There is some nice companies that do bases. Actually, they have like already done bases, not so many square, but around the ones. They have a lot of, and they have all kind of themes, like city themes or punk's theme, or fantasy theme, inside the city, outside the city, the mud is theme, and there's so many themes that you have like for every day of your life. They can be, but if someone has a really, they can put the magnets on it, but that's maybe too overworked, like magnets, and then when you move from the green to inside the house, you change the base. No, too much? Okay, I'm with you on that one. But for example, dwarves should have always a can of beer beside them somewhere. Dwarf. That's the thing, that they look good, but playing with them is, I don't know, they're like small and square like. I think that the dwarves that were kind of cool was the Chaos Dwarfs with the top hats, the tall ones, and when they started with the blunderbusses and the tall hats, you didn't know the difference between the blunder and the hat, so it looked like you had two blunderbusses. Yes, so we are about done with the bases. We have just two more bases after this one, and after that we go and do these. And after this, I will do this the correct way and clean with soap and brush them first. Then I will maybe submerge some of them, like this one, in some detergent to remove the paint. And as I said earlier, there is some nice videos about some detergents that are on the market right now. Oh my god, what happened to this base? It looked like it was like chewed and went through the digestive system. Yeah, one thing that I used a lot earlier is sand. But when you paint sand, it just becomes a blob. You don't have much. So nowadays I use gravel. You know, gravel that are a bit bigger. So when you cover them with, well, of course, if you maybe like airbrush the sand, it will stay a bit the same. But the ink, or the shadowing of them, it could be real hard. So I think it will be a blob anyway, sadly. But anyway, we are about done with this one. Oh my god, this one is terrible. But we try to use all of them and do not send any of them to the garbage can. Utan we do patience, we work. Inside as well. Yeah, but I don't know what is this. Yeah. By the way, well, this is my temporary place when I do my stuff. I'm in the middle of the living room in the house, and I was excommunicated of my wife. Well, my hobby room was anyway, because we had it back in the back part of the house, but we needed a place for our guests to, like, if they want to stay and sleep over and stuff like that. So I'm making that one now, and it's a rather fun story, because at the start I just wanted to do the walls. You know, they have this carpets on them. Well, not carpets, but you know, the things that you put on the wall to stay. It was like woven stuff from the 80s, brown. So I thought, okay, that's no problem. I would just tear it down and put paint white, and that's it. But then they didn't come off. So I started to go deeper into the wall, and how do you say it? Yips. The white thing that is on the wall. How do you pronounce it? It's maybe casket. Anyway, gyps maybe. No, it's not gyps. Let's see the translation. Gyps in English. Gyps in plaster. Yes, plaster. There you go, plaster cardboard stuff. Anyway, I took them down and continued my venturing deeper into the wall, and I went into the isolation, right? The glass fiber isolation, when I found lots of like corridors and nests of mice. there was like peanuts and other kind of nuts and leaves and stuff in the wall. So okay, I understand that this house is a bit old, but come on, who has like this labyrinth of scavens living in them? So I tear it down, and when I tear that down, I turn the inside of the roof down as well, and now I'm rebuilding everything, and I'm waiting for the electrician to come by and draw some cables into the wall, so we have nice lights and stuff. So that's gonna take me, I think, at least until January. But I'm trying to hurry it up. So I will tomorrow after work, after I put the kids to bed, I will be there working hard just to finish as much as I can before the electrician comes, and then I will just seal it off with the plasters, cartons. Now, anyway, we could make a color scheme of these later, like we can put the colors together. That's a good idea. When you paint something, you could, like, instead of like thinking of, well, this is going to be red, this is going to be blue, put the colors together and look at them. Does this look nice? Not quite. Okay, so maybe change the color. That's a nice idea. It takes about 2 seconds. Now let's see here. I want to have red and green and violet, or maybe pink. Of course, but there is something. I think that this thing with black with the violet tops and the golden moon could look really nice on these chaps. So some of them we really need to bathe and scrub. I know that you should bathe or scrub all your miniatures before painting, but come on, who has the time for it? I think they say that all the miniatures always covered with a fine thick coat of plastic, covered. That is from the mold or from the press when they do them. But who does that? I think priming is enough. This one looks a bit sad, actually. We'll make him a smiley face later. This one looks okay with the... Yep. There's the good one. Now this one has a turf here. That's it, in the background here. If I paint it, where is it? There it is. That's it. If I paint it, it's going to be like looking very strange. So gently I am scrubbing it away. The shields. I have a problem locating the shields for the orcs. I couldn't try to make shields, but I don't really know if the detail is going to look that good. And the shield is a rather big part of the miniature. You see if it stands like that, and he's nice looking, and then you have a shit shield. It's gonna don't look good. I think so. I must think a bit before doing. Actually, when you're doing miniatures, you have this like 15,000 projects at once going on. And I think most of us has 90%, 75% of the armies unpainted, because there's things you want to really buy, and after you buying it, you have about a week or two, a month, and then you have it the next paycheck, and then you go crazy once again. Or the manufacturers comes up just after you brought something. They come with a new model or a new box, and so it's like a never-ending story. I really liked that movie, Never Ending Story, when I was little. Never Ending Story. But I think that the wolf in the at the end was a bit scary. What was his name? Garth, something like that. So yeah, that was about it. So this is the last one, and then we have, oh, of course he has the one with the most of the grass on it. So typical. Plop. I don't know if you want to have a bit closer look what I'm doing, because you see 75% of my hands. Let's do this a bit closer like this, so maybe you see a bit more what I'm doing, and most talking to myself, just wondering if any people in the world gonna see this video. But hey, it's for me a way to relax after work. I'm here, sitting here and talking to myself like a psychopath. Okay, now this here I have a bit problem. Here's a bit problematic. Come on. Nice. Okay. Yes, sir. I can boogie. Yeah, he's done. Okay, that was fun. Let's send them all together and see which ones we can use with the color they have and just make them a bit better, and which ones we need to wash and clean, and then we need to do that because it's easier if we could find some other gobos. Okay, this one is okay. It's going to the pile of almost done. This one, nah, washing time for you, boy. There's some turf on the shield. This one, yeah, playable. Don't want to break anything. This one, it's okay. And then we have this one, for example, standing on this thing. Bath time for you, boy. These, yeah, well, the moon, no, they're okay. They have a nice color on the skin. I wonder what kind of, because it's kind of like plague green, and this is the goblin green, I think. See the difference? Goblin green, and this one is, I wonder what kind of color it could be. So what kind of color scheme are you? I think I would go with this green, I think gobos. So maybe I will need to bathe them a bit more, and we do a search for the right color. Where are they? And here they are. Okay. Oh, this one is bleeding with the eyes. So, change of tactics. Well, I could ink them, and then I could paint on top of the ink with this color as a highlight. Yeah, that could be good. So we're saving them. Now these two. No, they're good. So, and as usual, we have Lord of the Rings running in the background. Maybe I will change movie for the next time. Lord of the Rings. This one I need to glue. Boinky, 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 boinky. So we take our Revel Blue glue, shake it a bit, stir it around, shaken not stirred. And then we're gonna put some glue on here, but I wonder if the glue is gonna go past the there you go, and make him like that. Yeah, this is good. Well, they have like bent spears, so it's a goblin thing actually. Just waiting for the glue to set. It's set enough. Okay, and this one going for the wash. No, I think I can work with this one. This one is okay. This one, I don't know how many layers he has, because he don't have many features on the face. So we will clean him. He's like botoxed all over the place, so we will clean him definitely. These ones, no, this one is okay. Maybe need to clean this one as well, because it looks like he's don't have many contours to it. This one, no, this one, even though there's something wrong with his eyes. Well, it looks like he from this part he has a glare to his eyes, but he don't. Random color. I thought more of them. Hell, maybe we should clean all of them so they come out fresh. Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna take them apart once again and prepare a bath for them. And that one just landed up on the floor. So we'll see if he survives the dog. So now we will need to do... these are not... You think I can bathe them with glue on? I haven't bathed them any models. Yeah, let's do it. So we are done with these gnomes. What we do now? That's wonder. Let me think a bit, and then we will get back to you while I'm drinking some yerba mate. Be right back, dear sirs. Just need to switch off the camera. So, welcome back, my dear sirs. And we are gonna doing warlords, Roman infantry. Nice. Now, I like playing history as well. Imagine that. And we will glue this 4 that came with the magazine, whatever it's called, We Prime or whatever, Wargamer Illustrated or something like that, Illustrated Wargamer or something like that. So we're gonna take these apart, these chaps, and these chaps will use some heads. They have a pompon on the top of it, and they have 4 shields, and they have this pilum. I think pilum is the casting spear of the Romans, the spear, and they actually cast it, and sometimes they had spear parts here, like they holding 1 or 2 spears. So and they look like this in the back. So most chainmail, easy to paint, and they look really nice. Sadly, my friends are playing them, so I can't play them, because I would love to go as a tortoise, or the square formation that the Romans had, and they like bulking themselves with shields and protect themselves and go like hobbling around with like a big tank. I think that's where Leonardo got his idea, that instead of walking around as a tank, let's do a mechanized tank. And Leonardo did that. So let's start with, sadly I didn't have time to buy new ones, so I'm still working with these trashed ones, but like this, and like this, and this, and this angle. Now earlier when I was cutting, I was leaving this kind of part. Oh, there's the camera. When I was cutting, I left the bigger part here, this one, Like I nicked it like this, and then I went with the scalp and tried it. But it's easier actually easier, because these are profiled as a bit of triangle. If you cut it from, if you look from the upper part of this thing, or you can always twist them. But if you look, I will just flip it off. From the top here, they are like a triangle. You see, the base and the top, and then you place these pliers so they fit as the triangle. It's just rather hard to do it in camera, but like this. And if you do this rather good, it's rather a clean cut. So now this was no, there's the other one that went. It's okay. So let's nibble this one. And we turn now the music a bit down, so we don't hear the elves parading in on our Romans. Maybe the Celtic could, but not the elves. Oh well, there maybe were some elf believers that asked the elf for help against the valid fight against the Romans that just conquered the world, like, I don't know, cancer or something. Well, they had some problems with Germany, but I think later the expansion from Rome took its toll. You know, it's hard to control something that is so far away that you don't really know where it is, or if it doesn't ever exist. So I think that was the main stop of why Rome didn't become any bigger. But of course you would have some historian saying otherwise. But I think overextension was the cause of the Roman, and of course some other factors maybe as well, like the Huns and the fights and uprising Rome or whatever, or that the Roman Empire split into the east and the west because we had two emperors. That said about what they really wanted to do. I think a lot of history actually is a bit of randomized. If he hasn't spoken with that guy, or if this guy hadn't spoken with that guy, or if there was more rain or less rain, or if there was more water or less water, or if his uncle hadn't met his father, he would not introduce his sister or whatever. So it's very randomized. It's if not he had spoken to him, the history would look definitely different. Chop off these. So now I have all the four spears detached. Now I will just made a little slice there and a little bit here. You see, and I'm working maybe a bit better here in the middle. My hands are rather big and clumsy. So, and these are rather detailed things. So we have, we see that this one was two-parted. You have the upper part, this one, that was totally in metal all the way to this part was metal as well, and this was as just a wooden shaft. I think they reused this one, but not that one. Anyway, so these legions, nice. Yeah, this one. Now these ones are a bit smaller than the Games Workshop models, because Games Workshop models have grown over the years, strangely. And there are some pictures when you have an orc, like for this, and then you have the middle size orc, and then you have this huge orc here that doesn't fit into the camera. That's big. Technically it should be the other way around, and I think that most of the way that this is plastic, lower the cost of the postage. The cost of transferring one thing to another place. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more shields. Oh well, 4 shields. Then we can choose some nice heads. And I wonder if there will be all of them looks rather tough. See? Like this one, green. The one is yelling even. Avanti! So, let's take the shields and nick them off rather quick, because it's getting a bit late. Oh, these ones are already almost done. Yes, and chop. I don't know if the sounds it's too, because they're screaming and yelling and attacking, and the green skins are on the march. So I really need to have these exchange. So now let's trim these. And you see I'm using the scalpel for this, because this plastic is a bit thinner, and it could be that this thing goes a bit, or maybe not. Oh, it's rather good. So like this. Ah, then we have, oh no! This is what happens when you like turn it and swirl it out from its place. You can rip apart some plastic. But let's try to fix that. We're taking some glue. Oh, that's a big drop, so I don't really want a big drop. I want a smaller one, like this. Because what does the glue do? Yes, it's melting the plastic. And then we can do like this with these tweezers or pincet or whatever, and just try to push it together. The finest idea ever, but let's try to. Another thing when you're using these, it is very easy to have your fingerprints all over the miniature if you take too much, or you're in a hurry, or your wife is screaming in the background that you need to change the diapers. It's therefore I'm doing it when everybody's sleeping. Oh, that's okay. So let's take the other one. This is the second one. And now they had some nice color scheme on the front of the shields, actually. So we will try to paint them as they will. I don't think it's flower, but more like regular lines and curves and like lightning kind of thing. Like old telegraph posts that you see when there's lightning here that goes in this one and this one. It was all symmetrical, like this one is identical to this one but turned the other way, of course, and this one the mirror turned from this one but it went out like a line, and then in the middle there's this lightning. Of course everything in the same color, like yellow with red background. So yeah. Now this one is done as well. They can be a bit tagged because they are being in Britannia for a while, fighting off the savage Celts. Actually, I think you can use this miniature for not only Hail Caesar or the other game that. Oh well, this is how a bit damage here as well. If you can see, this is a big, small hole. Here, this one. But we let it be. So we're closing up the glue so I don't get toxicized. Okay, now this is good. It's nice and rather good. Now, when you work with these kind of small details, please be careful, because as I said, every model needs a chance to be on the table fighting for you. And if you do this in a hurry, maybe just that model could win the battle for you. So anyway, what the other things we could see on this channel? We could see painting, we could see assembling models now, we could see bathing models like in the near future, and we can see maybe some terrain building. We could assembled already done terrains. We can do this cardboard MDF terrain that I'm really impressed of some manufacturers, and I like when there are different colors of the MDF files. So now time for the heads. Which one should we take? We have 6 options, but we have only 4 bodies. So we are not making any twin-headed giants here, or mutants. Let's see. I like the Avanti yelling one. That one is definitely in the gang, because of his little extra hair extension on top of his helmet. I will nip it a bit further apart, and then we can have the. I think this one has a grim face, so let's take this one. And this is rather interesting, because these furry, I don't know if it was a horse hairs or I don't know, they have in 0 BC or something like that. It's about the same when during Second World War. They have feathers in the hat, the Italians. So there's something maybe in the tradition of the Italian army that will represent the Romans in some sort. Now we can have another grim face. I don't know if this one is making it with the tongue. I think it's only his lips. How about this one? And of course we take this one, which means that we could do like this. Where's the plier? Here it is. And we can save the head. Ta-da! Much easier to transport. So that's something you need to think about as well. Yes, now somebody is moving upstairs, so maybe now my youngest one has woken up, so I need to cut. But we'll see if it's true. Maybe someone is just getting some water, hopefully. But I think it's sadly the first. So there's some heads here, 4 heads, and then we have 4 bodies. Well, the base we can just, let me zoom out a bit, because it's maybe hard to see when I'm bigger. So, chip, 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 chip. You could say this, do some buildings or like stakes or post, flag post or some other stuff. But I'm tossing it away. Now let's do the heads, the necks, like this one. Then we go to the mold lines, or whatever they call. No, not any mold spikes. but yeah, that's good. Now take the scalpel and work it. Often I have noticed that the legs are a tricky part. Oh, they have sandals. Oh, cool. You know, the leather one with lots of stripes on them. Not the modern one with the cardboard. But not the cardboard, but with the, you know, when children use them, they have the stripes. Stripes, I mean, lashes that they don't they just put together and it stays in place. I watched a streaming about the new game called Conquest. It's like 9H inspired, but with miniatures. Okay, I think I will need to go upstairs because I'm hearing some drawers opening and closing, and it's still night. Maybe some need to tell the kids you need to sleep at least 8 more hours because it's about starting to be late. Anyway, we continue this in the morning. Tomorrow I can't because I'm working, but maybe on 2 days or 3 days from now, who knows. So I will take these small parts so nobody is gonna swallow them or eat them, and throw it a bit further back here. And I want to thank you guys for turning up and pushing the like button and the subscribe and all this. So it will help the channel grow. Right now I have about 2 subscribers. Let's see how that works out. Glue, scalpel, that's the 2 most important part. Don't leave them near kids. And this one as well. You can like chop it, I don't know, chop some head off each other or something. Even that is kind of broke. So, thank you for today, my dear sirs. See you until next time. Or maybe even later tonight.